Welcome back to Supernatural Japan. Today we're going deep into the heart of Japan's mythological homeland, Izumo Taisha, in Shimane Prefecture. It's one of the country's oldest shrines, a place where gods are said to gather every autumn, and where the veil between our world and the supernatural feels unusually thin. Shimane Prefecture is rural, quiet, and often forgotten by tourists. But for those who know the old stories, this region isn't empty. It's alive with gods, spirits, and legends older than Japan itself. Far from the crowded trains of Tokyo and the neon of Osaka, Shimane Prefecture sits quietly on the Sea of Japan. There are no Shinkansen lines here. The coastline is rugged and lonely, the inland forests thick and ancient. It's one of Japan's least populated regions and one of the least visited by tourists. But what Shimane lacks in modern convenience, it makes up for mythological weight. The area is covered with shrines, sacred rocks, ancient burial mounds, and places mentioned directly in Japan's oldest books, the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki. For many Japanese people, Izumo is where the nation's spiritual DNA begins, and standing at its center is Izumo Taisha. Izumo Taisha, Izumo Grand Shrine, is dedicated to Ukuninushi no Okami, a powerful deity associated with love, relationships, healing, nation-building, and protection. Many visitors come to pray for romance, good marriages, or strong bonds, because Okuninushi is considered Japan's great god of Enmusubi, the forging of connections. Archaeological discoveries suggest that a shrine existed here more than 1,300 years ago, possibly far older. What makes Izumo Taisha extraordinary is the legend, supported by real archaeological evidence, that the main original hall was once a staggering 48 meters tall. That would have made it one of the tallest wooden structures ever built until modern Japan. Massive pillar footprints formed from 3 gigantic logs bound together were discovered in 2000, backing up ancient shrine documents and proving that much of the legend may have been real. Now, the shrine has its own prayer style, distinct from nearly every other shrine in Japan. 2 bows, 4 claps, 1 bow. The 4 claps honor the gods who gather here in autumn. Above the Kagura-den hall hangs a massive shimanawa, a sacred rice straw rope weighing several tons. It symbolizes the boundary between the human and spirit worlds, and in Izumo, that boundary feels especially thin. Now, what is Shinto? Shinto is an ancient spiritual tradition of Japan, a belief system without a founder or sacred book. Instead, it grew naturally from Japan's islands, forests, mountains, and communities. Shinto teaches that the world is inhabited by kami, spiritual presences that can be gods, nature spirits, ancestral souls, or even the essence of powerful places. Shrines are placed where the boundary between people and kami becomes softer, where prayers, offerings, and rituals help maintain harmony between humans, nature, and the divine. Rather than strict religion, Shinto is a worldview based on respect for the unseen, gratitude for the natural world, and the belief that life is filled with spiritual connections. And Izumo Taisha is one of the most important centers of this belief, a place where countless kami gather and where the mythological roots of Shinto run deep. In most of Japan, the 10th month of the old lunar calendar is known as Kanazuki, written as the month without gods. It's an eerie poetic idea, the notion that, for several weeks each year, all the kami vanish from their usual shrines. But in Shimane Prefecture, the same month is known for a completely different name, Kamiarizuki, the month with gods, and the reason is extraordinary. According to Shinto belief, every kami from across Japan leaves their home shrine and travels to Izumo, gathering at Izumo Taisha and the surrounding sacred sites. This includes ancestral deities, nature spirits from mountains and rivers, protective local gods, and the great deities of the national myths. For the rest of Japan, this mass migration means the shrines feel spiritually empty. But in Izumo, it's the opposite. The region becomes supernaturally crowded. According to tradition, the gods arrive under the cloak of autumn mist, traveling silently along the coast, through the forests, and across mountain paths to reach the ancient shrine. The purpose of this divine summit is the Kami Noen, the assembly of the gods. And during this gathering, the kami hold discussions, almost like a cosmic conference, about matters that affect the human world. They talk about the relationships and destiny and musubi. Izumo Taisha is the shrine of the Okuninushi, the god of connections. And during Kamiarizuki, the gods meet specifically to determine who will meet whom, and which relationships will form and dissolve. They'll talk about marriage prospects, reconciliation between families, business partnerships, and life-changing encounters. Because of this, Izumo's rituals during Kamiarizuki emphasize bond-making, harmony, and future fortune. The gods are said to negotiate luck, weather patterns, protection from disasters, and general well-being for the year ahead. It's almost like a spiritual planning session for the next cycle of life in Japan. And local priests describe this gathering as a vast networking of energies. Earth spirits, sea spirits, mountain kami, and ancestral guardians, all aligning and recalibrating their roles. Now, Izumo Taisha has a special structure called the Jukusha, a long, narrow building that traditionally served as temporary lodging for the visiting deities. The arrangement symbolizes hospitality on an unimaginable scale. In nearby Inasa Beach, the arrival ceremony is held each year, where priests greet the gods as they come ashore. The waves during this period are famously restless, and locals say the sea itself is welcoming the divine guests. Over the centuries, people have claimed unusual things happen in Shimane during the divine assembly. Sudden gusts of wind on perfectly still nights, and locals believe these gusts are the arrival or movement of kami, especially along shrine pathways. There's light seen drifting along the coastline. Fishermen speak of glowing spheres hovering above the surf during the god's arrival. Some describe them as hitodama, wandering spirits, but others say they are guiding lights for traveling kami. The sound of running water with no source. Visitors sometimes report the sound of flowing water or distant chanting near the shrine forest, even without streams nearby. There's a feeling of crowdedness in an empty space. During the Kamiarizuki, many people describe a sense of invisible presence, as if someone is standing behind them or walking alongside them. and priests sometimes phrase it differently. During this month, Izumo is full. Even when you're alone, you are not alone. Today, the Kamiarizuki ceremonies draw visitors from across Japan who want to feel even a fraction of the energy of this mythic gathering. Events include the welcoming of gods at Inasa Beach. There's the Kamairi Festival held at Izumo Taisha to honor Ukinanushi. There's the Enmusubi Festival, where people pray specifically for future relationships. And there are nighttime rituals involving lanterns, chanting, and offerings. The atmosphere feels ancient and unchanging, as though the rituals have been performed the same way for thousands of years. There are many supernatural legends and stories that take place in and around Izumo Taisha. And here are just a few of them. The phantom carp of Shinmon River. A legend says a gigantic glowing carp, larger than any natural fish, sometimes swims near the sacred bridge by the shrine. It appears only at night, glowing softly in the water like a lantern. Locals call it Hikari Nishiki, the carp of light. Some say it's a guardian spirit of the shrine. Others claim it's a sign that a deity is about to visit. Another tale is about the invisible procession during Kamiarizuki. During the gods' annual meeting, locals believe you can hear, and sometimes feel, something passing beside you along the shrine's sacred pathways. Priests describe sudden gusts of wind along totally still nights. Visitors report hearing the soft shuffle of robes or the rhythmic tapping of feet on stones, though no one's there. One older priest describes it as, you do not see the gods arrive. You feel them arrive. Now, the sand dune spirits of Inasa Beach. Just west of the shrine is Inasa no Hama, the beach where the gods are believed to land when they arrive in Izumo. On certain autumn nights, strange lights are reported near the waves. Soft blue and white orbs hovering just above the sand. These are believed to be the hitodama, wandering soul lights. And people say that walking the beach at dusk during Kamiarizuki feels like walking through a crowd that isn't quite visible. Some feel watched, and others feel gently accompanied. Now, of course, there is the tale of the woman in the white kimono, and this is more modern ghost story tied to the forest paths east of Izumo Taisha. Visitors occasionally report seeing a pale woman in a white kimono walking calmly along the lantern-lit pathway, only to disappear behind a tree around a bend. And unlike many Japanese ghost stories, she is not malevolent. Locals believe she is a miko, a shrine maiden from centuries ago, still performing her duties, guiding visitors safely through the sacred grounds. And one last tale. The night the mirror cried. One old tale tells of a sacred mirror kept at a small auxiliary shrine near Izumo Taisha. During the Edo period, villagers reported hearing soft weeping coming from the shrine at night. And when priests investigated, the mirror was warm to the touch and covered in condensation, as though someone had breathed on it. The belief was that a sorrowful kami was trapped inside, longing to return to Izumo Taisha. Izumo Taisha isn't just a historical site. It's a place where myth, spirituality, and the supernatural sit close to the surface. In the quiet, rural landscapes of Shimane, where ancient forests meet the cold sea of Japan, the gods feel unusually close. If you ever find yourself at Izumo Taisha, especially in November, stand beneath the massive Shinanawa rope, listen to the wind, and look towards the dark forests. You may feel that you are not alone. And in Izumo, you probably aren't. Thank you for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'd really appreciate it if you left a review and a rating. That really helps other spooky history lovers find the show too. Now, to see photos of what beautiful and mystical Izumo Taisha look like, follow our Instagram at Supernatural Japan. And check out our Facebook group too for additional photos. The links are both in the show notes. Now, I'm on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple. My name's Kevin O'Shea, and I'm your host. And I post some spooky things, but mostly not. Most of the things I post over there are just about life in Asia as an expat. They're not creepy, but they're a lot of fun. Now, you can please shoot me an email at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com with ideas, stories, any weird, spooky experiences you've had in Japan or elsewhere, or just to say hello. I would love to hear from you. Again, that's supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. And we do have a Buy Me a Coffee. You can support the show. A lot of awesome people already have, and it would be so appreciated if you did too. The links are in the show notes. And you can definitely help the podcast grow. It's been growing a lot recently, and I'm very pleased with that. But you can help us grow by sharing Supernatural Japan on your social media and with your family and your friends. Until next time, keep your lights low and your curiosity high. This is Kevin O'Shea signing off from Supernatural Japan.